Hej, siemanko wam wszystkim, jestem Master Cheater 19, to jest kolejny odcinek ze serii What Remains of EDITH FINCH. Tak, skończyliśmy ostatnio na Molly, na historii dziewczynce, która się prawdopodobnie otruła jagodami.
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
Nie ma odcinka bez przerywania mi, nie? Dobra. Tym zoomuję w ogóle. Brzuszek widać. Molly, tam jest po chomiczku. Czy to jest chomiczek? Nie, to jest po chomiczku. Dobra. No to idziemy szukać dalej historii. Idziemy historią dalej. Będziemy... W ogóle kobieta w ciąży chodzi po takich rzeczach, nie? Mogę skoczyć?
This will
Nie
be
mogę
obvious
skoczyć.
later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom
ładne.
didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Ale ogólnie graficznie... Oj. Dobra. Graficznie jest tak ładnie to wszystko zrobione.
I spent a lot of
Ten dom-
time in Great Grandma Edie's room.
Ten dom jest tak ładny. To jest tak dużo detali. Przez to, że studiuję to, co studiuję, to tak podziwiam teraz rzeczy, ale fajna rybka. Nie, tabletki. Tam skończyły
Even
się
in her
na...
90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
No.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Smoczek zabił. Jednak nie.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
To są
Edie gave a
wszystkie...
big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
Nie, czekaj. Jakie mam to? Dobra.
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan.
W ogóle to jest taka gierka, gdzie trzeba się bardzo dużo skupić, bardzo trzeba wsłuchać się to, co mówią. Więc
On
zbyt
January
dużo
7th,
nie...
1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
Zbyt dużo nie mogę mówić.
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
W ogóle to mnie przeraża, w ogóle utonięcie, mieszkać blisko wody, że nagle będzie tsunami i tym podobne. Mnie to przeraża. Spalenie i utonięcie to są największe, jakby... To są jedyne śmierci, których się tak bardzo boję.
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already
Mają
dreaming
swój
of a new Finch
cmentarz
house.
jakby. Jakby czemu nie?
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Dobrze. To mamy już... Tędy nie pójdziemy, to musimy tam dookoła.
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year. just in time to replace the old ones.
No.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Dobra, chyba więcej nie mogę. Jaka różowa... Ło. Jakie różowe.
The only trace
Wszystko
Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a
Jaki
pretty big
dywanik.
trace.
To ja widzę, że był pretty big trace. Wino w ogóle. O, klucz. Czy ty, dziecko, stanęłaś na kiblu? There's a secret in the bathroom by saying... No.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Uuu. W ogóle takie mechanizmy są w tym domu, że ja nie wiem.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
I weź tu, dziecko, sprzątaj. Milton. Alkohol, piwo. Ale wszystko dobrze wygląda. To jest najgorsze. No najgorsze, no jedno z lepszych rzeczy, że rzeczy się aż tak nie psują w tym domu. Nie wiem, one są wieczne jakieś, ale... Tutaj Folsom. Ładny pokój, ładny.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
Chyba coś nie tak było z tym.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Calvin 1500 do 1061. 1950 do 1961. 1500. No. To, żem powiedział co wiedział.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom.
Nie.
And he did. At Barbara's funeral,
Bujam
we
sobie.
swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Ja się trochę zawsze bałem tak wysoko być na huśtawce, chociaż zawsze lubiłem. To był taki strach, ale
maybe if the
fajny
wind
strach.
hadn't picked up,
Oho.
then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Joko przepaść. Młody. No i poszły konie po betonie. No i
The
dziecko
day he made
skoczy.
up his mind to fly.
No i dziecko
And he did.
skoczyło. No i poleciał. Rzut Calvinem w dal.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Ale ty żyjesz, młoda.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Jakie fajne! Też takie chcę w domu. I weź na przykład twoje dziecko się zgubi, weź się znajdź. Nie bym się poddał. To już taka selekcja naturalna by była.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
A tutaj co jest? O Jezu! Się wystraszyłem. To
Growing
chyba
up,
jest ta
I
sławna
always thought of Barbara as a child star. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest
Mutację przeżyła.
boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the
Uh-huh.
basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
Dobrze, to trzeba zapamiętać.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
No, teraz ja kręcę.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
O nie.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled.
O nie, będzie...
Oh dear!
Masz
Barb,
w łeb.
relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Ale fajnie, że jest interaktywny. I w ogóle grafika jest inna. Oho! Kogo jebnąć?
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police described the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing.
Masz w łeb, co ja będę?
He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Takie trochę stresujące.
She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
Co ja mam tu?
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
Wypad, typie. O nie, to będzie ojciec chyba.
But she sensed the story might not be over yet. The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Ding dong. Ding dong, this is down the police. Whoop.
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
Aww.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life.
To były prawdziwe potwory.
I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all
Biedny
pretty
Walter.
hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Ucho. Uuu. Ale graficznie w ogóle ta historia była fajna.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Dobra. 8 nam zostało. 8 osób. ale dzisiaj skończymy. Mam nadzieję, że wam się odcinek spodobał. Pamiętajcie, że zdrowie psychiczne i fizyczne jest tak samo ważne. Uważajcie na swoje krzyki. Tak więc do następnego. Bye! Mua.